everyone, my name is Jillian and I am a summer staff here at Connections Early Years Family Center. I'm a recent graduate of the Faculty of Education and I am here to walk you and your little ones through some fun outdoor activities to really get you guys involved in some outdoor learning and really learning how to gain skills and insight through exploring our natural spaces. So for today, we have a new activity and we're going to be exploring our sound garden. But first, we're going to start with just a little bit of a warm-up activity. So grab a blanket, find a shady spot, and I will see you in 1 second. So it is estimated that about 30% of us are actually auditory learners. So what this means is a lot of us learn best by just listening. We hear words, we hear sounds, and all of those things are great ways for us to create new knowledge and just explore. So one thing we're going to do for our warm-up activity today is I want you to find a blanket. See if you can hopefully find a shady spot because it's pretty hot out this week. And just set it down, and I want you to lie flat on your back. We're going to look up, and we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to just listen. So when you and your child are doing this activity, take nice attention to just deep breathing. Feel nice and relaxed. Really untense any of your muscles that might be a little bit tense or uptight. And you just want to try and breathe and listen to the natural beauty of the world around us. You might be hearing some different sounds. You might be maybe letting your mind wander a little bit. Maybe you want to let your eyes open and just watch the clouds as you listen. Whatever it is, we're just going to take about a minute, maybe a little bit longer if you're enjoying it. And we are going to see what exactly it is that we're hearing in our sound garden today. So you might be hearing some different sounds as you and your child lie on a blanket and just listen to everything going on around you. Maybe you hear the rushing of cars or people talking or other kind of hectic sounds going on around where you're sitting down. But that's okay. I want you to try and breathe deep and listen past them to more natural sounds. Maybe you hear some birds chirping, like maybe a robin calling, or maybe you hear one of those blue jays that are a little bit more squawky, for lack of a better word. Maybe you hear some insects buzzing. Or maybe my personal favorite, you might hear a bumblebee buzzing around your garden and pollinating all of our lovely plants. Whatever it is, just enjoy your time, really listen to those sounds and focus on how spectacular those sounds are, because we don't usually sit and just enjoy the sounds of nature around us. After a few minutes, when your child feels calmed and focused, try asking them about their experience. Ask them, what did they hear? How does that make them feel? Because remember, kids have stress too. So doing this activity is a really great way just to, again, relax a little bit in nature and just try and find a way to calm ourselves before we do our next activity. Hopefully we are now all feeling a little bit calmer, a little bit more focused, and we're going to get started with our sound wall activity. So right here we have an example of one of our sound walls that one of our early on staff members made for us with her son, and it's absolutely beautiful. It has all different sorts of utensils, some bells, some cannons of different types, and even a tambourine, which is my personal favorite. It also comes with a bunch of little tins that act as both holders and musical instruments. So as I said, this is a really, really wonderful example of a sound wall. However, not all sound walls have to be quite this exemplary. They can also be a little bit simpler, but I will take you through how to build your own sound wall a little bit later on today. So when we have our sound wall, something that you can do is give your child just something to hit them with. We're going to be using these to make music and sounds of different types. It's a really great example of open-ended play because there's not really any one way to do this. Your child can explore these different sounds in any way that they think they want to. So it's a perfect example of just open-ended learning and exploration of natural sounds and created sounds. Another thing that you can do is if your child's a little bit more tentative with this exercise, you can ask them, maybe make a song that you already know. Hopefully they're maybe a little more creative than I am with that one, but they can do anything they want from creating a sound they already know to maybe just having a complete jam session making whatever kind of crazy cacophony of sounds that they want to make. Whatever they do, that's okay. It's all about exploration through sound. And maybe you even get a little music party going, maybe some dancing, some clapping, which are also great ways to incorporate physical activity into this exercise. So whatever they do, it's completely up to them. Just enjoy your time outside. But one thing I do want to mention is that it's really important that when you're doing this, you and your child bring out your water bottles because it is super hot outside this month, and you want to make sure that you guys are staying hydrated when you're doing these outdoor activities. So we've already shown you one really wonderful example of a sound wall, but not all sound walls have to be quite that creative or quite that well put together. Sometimes it's easy just to do with what we have lying on hand if we don't maybe have a lot of materials that we want to spare from our baking cupboards. So what we have over here is just another little example of a sound wall that you can create, and I've done it entirely from scraps that we just had lying around in our garages, here at the center, pretty much wherever I could find them. So for this music wall, you can just do a little bit of paint, maybe some marker, have some fun with it. But all I have is a broken old wind chime from the dollar store, some mason jar lids that got too rusty to use, some clothespins, some old elastic bands from vegetables, a pie plate from dessert, and more pieces of my bamboo wind chime that did not last very long. All of these things are just mounted right onto a wooden board that was just lying in the garage, and we've just secured it to the fence using a little bit of old string. The other thing that's really wonderful about this is, again, it's all materials you have lying around. It's a great way just to recycle things that you're no longer using, and it doesn't really cost anything. So it's a simple enough thing to make, but the other important part that I want to mention is this activity is a lot of fun if you do it with your kids. So when you and your kids do crafts like this, or just create something that's really fun and really engaging, not only is it a good way to spend quality time with your children, but it's also a way to give them ownership over their own learning. So if they can tell you where they want the pieces, how they want it painted, where they want to put it up, it's really amazing because it gives your child a sense that they contributed, they were just as important in this process, and that's a really important thing for your child when they're developing different skills. So when you have your creative sound wall, same thing as before, they can go to town, have a music party, hopefully it sounds exactly what they're looking for, and if not, you can always add some singing, clapping, dancing. It's very open-ended, and that way it's just a fun little thing you can have in your garage for a rainy day. If you don't have a fence, that is okay. You can always use everything from just leaning it up against a tree, maybe leaning it up against your building. Whatever it is, just be sure that you're just making the most out of what you have. I hope you had fun with our sound wall activity, and I hope you give it a try. If you have any soundboards that you make your own, or maybe you have a picture of you and your children outside enjoying some music, that's perfect. Hopefully you can post it to our Facebook page or send us a message about how this activity went for you. We would love to hear from you guys. So one more quick thing before we close out for today. I will be posting a link below the video with just links to further resources, other web pages that tell you how other people have made sound walls, different ways that they and their children have enjoyed playing with music outdoors, and also just a brief summary of what this is going to help with in terms of hitting curriculum points and your child's learning goals. So hopefully you guys had fun today. Thank you again for joining me, and thank you for connecting.